everyone, I'm Jenna.
Hey everyone, I'm Zoe. Welcome back to the Husky Howl, the show where we talk about real stuff that matters to you.
That's right, and today we're tackling something super important, bullying. Whether it's at school, online, or anywhere else, bullying can have a big impact.
We'll talk about what bullying really is, how to stand up for yourself and others, why kindness is always the way to go. Plus, we've got some personal stories and tips from other students just like you.
We'll also share some trivia and details on Multicultural Night coming up, so stick around. It's time to talk, learn, and make a difference.
Hello, everyone. This is Mrs. Geppert. Welcome to the Husky Howl. In this episode, we wanted to talk about bullying. I'm here in the studio with Zoe, JC, and Jenna. And we're just going to have an open conversation about this topic. Have we seen it at Central? Have we experienced it? What's going on? So, Zoe, let's start with you. What are your thoughts about bullying?
I think it's unfair to bully somebody, and I think maybe if you're bullying someone just because you're not happy with yourself, that's like even worse because you're making them feel bad about something that they maybe can't fix or do anything about.
Earlier, you and I were talking, and you mentioned that you witnessed an instance in our lunchroom where a student was calling another student a name, and you called them on it, said, "Hey, that's not okay." And they said they thought it was funny. What do you think about that situation?
I think that causes more diversity than like coming together because I feel like we're going backwards, kind of just like going back to calling people's racial names. And I don't think it's helping people who really are struggling with that.
Thank you. Jenna, what are your thoughts about bullying? I mean, middle school's hard enough, and now you're afraid you walk down the hall and someone's going to pick on you or maybe see something that they don't like and make what they think is a funny joke.
Yeah, well, especially at our ages, it's really easy to feel insecure about how you look or your glasses or your clothes. So having other people pick on it and make you feel even more insecure about it just makes it a lot worse and hard.
That is so true. I read a book a long time ago about a bully at a school. And one day, one of the kids witnessed this student being picked on by his parents and bullying him. And all of a sudden, they were like, oh, wow. So sometimes we don't know what's happening in someone else's life, too. Zoe, you mentioned that sometimes change because they want to feel better about themselves. So can one of you talk a little bit about why someone might bully or what your thoughts are about bullying? Zoe, why don't you give us a start?
I feel like some people might bully another person because like they might be scared of doing something. Like I know it's like some people like to dress up for school, which I think is fine. But like I feel like for some people, they might just laugh at it because it's like, they're like, oh, why would you dress up for school? It's just school.
I think kind of like you said in that book, sometimes if people have an example from other friends or classmates or family members, then sometimes they might think it's okay or that it's not affecting people.
JC, you've been a little quiet here with us. You want to chime in about your thoughts about bullying? What are some things that we might see in someone who's bullying?
I think in specific, most of the time, someone who is bullying another person, they're either insecure, number one, or have been peer pressured or hazed into doing this. And hazing is the act of forcing another person to do something to join a group or like a clique of sorts. And the peer pressuring weighs a lot, most on students here, from what I've seen.
So let's switch up a little bit here and talk about stopping or preventing bullying. We've heard the saying, see something, say something. Why would students be reluctant to step in and stop bullying or even report bullying? Zoe, what do you think?
I think it might be maybe being scared that they're also going to get involved. And I feel like people are scared to get involved in something that maybe they don't want to be a part of, I guess.
So if I understood you correctly, students don't want to say anything because they don't want to be bullied themselves in return or might even be afraid to report or say something in front of their friends. What about if they go to a trusted adult or another teacher? Do you think that might be easier? Or are students even afraid to do that?
I feel like for some people it might be easier, but I feel like sometimes when you are in a group of people and they're not like you or you're not like them, it'll probably be harder because then they might pick on you for trying to stand up for somebody, or like maybe thinking that you're different and just laughing at it, that you care about, like, I guess, other people sometimes.
Okay, Jenna, what are your thoughts about see something, say something? And Zoe has said that it might be hard because you don't want other people to think that you're different too. You want to fit in. What are your thoughts about reporting bullying or telling someone about bullying?
Yeah, I definitely think it's important to report it like to the school, and I definitely think it can be easier than trying to stand up in the moment, especially with that fear of being bullied, and especially since putting in a report can be anonymous, so a lot of times people won't even know that you are reporting it in the first place.
JC, earlier you talked about peer pressure. All want to fit in. Even as an adult, I want to fit in with a group. And I imagine as middle school students, it's probably even harder because you're figuring out life in general. But you mentioned peer pressure. Is that something that comes into play with a student and seeing bullying?
Sometimes it can be, yes. However, I think more so when people want to report it, they're either more afraid that the adult or trusted adult would not believe them because of someone else's status. Because it can also happen with adults and students, students to students, adults to adults. So it's all about just what's happening in that situation and how you would go about it. I think most of the time for students to students, anonymous reporting is best for them, as the stress and anxiety that can come from it is a bunch and can be a lot more than what a student needs in a school environment.
So let's talk a little bit about the elephant in the room, cyberbullying. As an adult, I seem to be more aware of it when I read news reports about students who have taken the extreme step of self-harm when they have been cyberbullied. And I just recently have become aware that there's some TikTok pages about Central, and that some of our students are fat shaming, skinny shaming, making fun of students at our school. And some of those students know about it. And I'm just curious about how that would make them feel. And more importantly, how can we change this idea that it's okay to do something online? So I'll just let any of you, JC, Jenna, or Zoe, jump in.
I think that if somebody's doing that and somebody else sees it, they might think lower of themselves and it might make them insecure. Because I feel like some people have like issues with being like upset and maybe being really self-aware of what they look like or like who they are as a person. And
adding on to what Zoe was saying about the effects it has, this can also lead kids to go deep into their mental health and really scar themselves with things such as eating disorders. And also there's anxiety, sleep disruption, emotional dysregulation, and depression, which sucks because we're kids. We shouldn't have to be going through this. As well as the fact that we just got 6th graders this year, and having an account that is being run by someone at the school and doing all these things to these kids is absolutely horrible for their mental health, as well as the person running the account. We don't know what's going on with them. We don't know why they're doing it. Who knows? They could be insecure, and that's why they're doing this. They could be someone who wants to hurt these kids. Who knows? I also saw there was an experiment done where they brought in 2 groups of kids about our age, possibly a little bit older, and they had them watch a video of someone playing, I believe it was the ukulele, and it was pretty bad. And then they took one group of the kids and they said, okay, put online or talk to each other about what you thought. And then they had another group of kids, they said, hey, we have the person come in here. And the people who were they didn't expect to actually talk to the person and they were just doing online were way harsher and meaner about it. So a lot of times people think online people aren't going to see it or that it's not as big of a deal.
So the anonymity sometimes of online, that we say and do things online that we wouldn't even think about saying or doing if we were face to face with the person. This has been quite interesting and, for me, a hopeful conversation about bullying. So all of you that are listening, I encourage you to don't be afraid to own who you are. And if you see someone being picked on or bullied, don't be afraid to say, hey, that's not okay. To stand up and help your friends and other students here at Central.
Hey guys, we have a silly joke for you. Why did the barber win the race? Because he knew a shortcut. In case you didn't laugh at that one, here's another one to tickle your funny bone. What happens when a frog's car breaks down? It gets towed. Let's spring into some trivia. Do you like jelly beans? Well, here's a question for you. How many jelly beans do you think Americans eat on Easter? If you answered 16 billion, you are right on the money. Americans consume 16 billion of the little colored treats at Easter, many of them hidden in baskets. If all the Easter jelly beans were lined end to end, they would circle the globe nearly 3 times.
Speaking of jelly beans, did you know that the 22nd of April is Jelly Bean Day? Here are some other fun and weird holidays coming up this month. On the 9th is Name Yourself Day, so have some fun and get creative with some unique names. Then on the 17th is High Five Day, so let's all celebrate with some high fives. And finally, on theme with Mr. Garcia's comedy unit is Talk Like Shakespeare Day on the... This is Stacy. With me in the studio is Miss Schilling, the Family Service Coordinator. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Central Middle School is hosting an evening event to celebrate the many cultures of our school. What are the details, day, time?
Thanks for asking, JC. I am really excited about this multicultural family night because Central Middle School is such a diverse community. We have students whose families come from countries all over and have different cultures and different customs, and we want to celebrate all of those and make all families and communities welcome and celebrated. So on Wednesday, April 16th, at 6 p.m., we are going to be having our Family Multicultural Night. We are going to be having live performances. We're going to have activities. We are going to have displays of student work from pack time. It's going to be a really great event for the whole family.
Can you tell us a little more about these pack times projects?
Yes. So we are giving each student the opportunity to write a little bit about themselves, the culture they identify with, where they come from. And then each pack time as a group is going to have one big trifold display with an assigned country or culture. And that's going to give them the opportunity to research and learn about the cultures and traditions of some of their classmates that they might not know about. Those group displays, along with the individual displays, are going to be shown for all the families to see at our Multicultural Night.
That's nice. So what if a family wants to share food or another tradition? How can they participate?
Well, we really hope they do. There are posters around the school. Some of the posters have a QR code. The posters with the QR code, if you scan the QR code, it will take you directly to a sign-up sheet. There you can sign up to do a performance, to set up a booth, or to bring food. Those are all things that we encourage families to do. There's going to be some food available for sale in the parking lot, and then we're also hoping that some people bring food from their own culture to share, kind of potluck style. That can be from their own restaurant or store, or it can be homemade. But we really are hoping to showcase different food, different ideas, different cultures.
Is there anything else you want to tell us?
Yes, I'd like to share with you some of the great performers we have. So we have our very own Multicultural Club led by Miss Lena. They have been meeting to learn various dances from around the world. I believe they're doing 3 or 4 dances. They are going to perform those for the school. We also have some other students who might be playing music, some teachers that might be playing music from different cultures, and then we have a couple guest performers. Sankofa African Dance and Drum Trot is going to come and perform for us. We also have some local Hawaiian dancers who are going to come dance for us. And then we have some members of the community who are going to have displays. Our Indigenous Ed department is going to have a table. Our Migrant Education department will have a table. Miss Santagata is going to be doing native beading with students as a fun activity. And there are even some clubs from West High School. The West High Asian Club is going to come have a booth. So it's just going to be a lot of fun.
All right. Well, thank you for coming to share that with us.
Thank you for giving me the chance to talk about it. And if anyone has more questions or wants more information, they can come and visit me, Miss Schilling, in the office, and I would be happy to help you get started to sign up.
All right. Well, once again, Multicultural Night is on Wednesday, April 16th at 6 p.m. We look forward to seeing you there.
Thanks so much.
That's a wrap on today's episode. We hope this conversation helped you understand more about bullying and how we can all work together to stop it.
Remember, kindness and respect goes a long way. If you see someone being bullied, speak up or get help. And if you're struggling, don't be afraid to talk to a trusted friend, teacher, or an adult. You're never alone.
Thanks for hanging out with us today. If you like this episode, be sure to share it with your friends and keep spreading kindness.
Look for the next episode of the Husky Howl on April 17th. Until then, be kind, stand up, and take care of each other. Bye everyone!